Shalom, Shalom. When the start of souls by giving all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, God, Kodash, that belongs to the apostles of great millstone and honors to brothers doing the work of the Most High in truth and in sincerity. Yahweh, that's the raw name of whom the world ignorantly calls God, Jehovah, Yahweh. His raw name is Yahweh, and the Son's true name is Yahweh Shai. And when we pray Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba meaning in, Ha meaning there, Sham meaning name. It's a series of different articles, news, and everything. Don't have a particular topic per se, but really on this thing about, watching. Because the watching is important. Watching helps to, I'll speak for myself, helps keep me in the spirit. Keeps me, measuring the time, and it keeps me, knowing, that this thing is close, right? Because it's might have a and this world just lots of extra stuff happening. May not read as many articles or whatever, what have you. But then as soon as you get back into them articles, you're like, yeah, you see, yeah, everything's still ending, man, because this world's like it's got tentacles, and everything. But that's why it's a spiritual battle. Okay, this is Mark 13:33. Take ye heed, watch and pray, for you know not when the time is. Right, so we watch so that we're actually able to see, actually know all of these things that the Lord spoke. Right, all the things I've written in this book, all the things that the apostles have taught us, they are coming to pass. Right, when not watching, what happens is you basically end up. I remember it was with the Elder Ramah here, and what do you call it, in England, a couple of months back. And we were just basically going through a particular part of town, and basically was like, yo, hey, if you was to see this, you wouldn't think that this world was about to end. And that's it, when not in that period of of watching, right? Basically it could you just go all around, because not even like going out in the world, but doing what you got to do. And sometimes you get overwhelmed, right? But isn't like, yeah, when you're around people that are in that mirth, whether you're at work, you're around people that is, yeah, I'm gonna go do this, or I'm gonna go do that, or I'm gonna go do that other thing, right? It's sort of like, do these guys not know this world is about to come to an end, right? But yeah, once again, the point is, when watching, that is something that is always at the top of our minds. Right? It's the second Ezra 9:1. It says, He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, when thou seest part of the signs past, right, which I've told thee before, then shalt thou well understand that it is this very same time when the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. And how do we measure the time? We measure the time by way of these scriptures. Right? And when measuring, measuring the time, we're able to work out that this place is almost done. Okay, everything is collapsing, everything has happened all at the same time, which basically allows us to know that, yo, this man's getting ready to implode this kingdom that he set up. It's like it just got something in my chest, my throat. It says, Therefore, when thou shalt be seeing earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Okay, and that's that's what we're seeing. We're seeing earthquakes and other natural events happening all throughout the world, events that are quote freakish in nature. Okay. But yeah, just to bring out some of the articles, right? It says one man's shopping trip turned scavenger hunt shows how the supply chain crisis has created an everything shortage. And just as we were saying before, right? Just like before, when this pestilence was still just over there in China, right? Everyone was going about their business. Everyone was just concentrating on the wildfires that were in Australia at the time. Then the killing of General Soleimani, from Iran. Yeah, but this was just something in the background. Now, for however long, right? The forefront topic has been this vid, right? But in the background, we were all just there like, yo, there's going to be a shortage of everything. The apostles have been, prophesying that for ages, man, for years, right? This famine that is to come, right? And as every, when you watch your Darbu sevens, right? You are you have observed, right, that what they're doing is almost like they're purposefully trying to get this supply chain messed up. Okay. Once again, that's that the beauty of watching, because for people that are hearing about it now, they're just being there like, oh, it's just caused by XYZ, right? But those of us that have been watching, we're like, yo, no, this has been ongoing. Right, this has been ongoing. Okay. But yeah, another one here, right? It says, from the Washington Post, ships way off the California coast unable to load their cargo. Truckers are overworked and overwhelmed, and truckers, that's a big issue over here in the UK at the moment. It says often confronting log jams. Rail yards have also been clogged with trains at one point backed up 25 miles outside a key Chicago facility. Now, once again, I want to share this, in the chat with the Archeum. It was all like, okay, cool. So, you already know now that he's bringing this to the forefront, right? This is probably the next move now, okay? Because once again, this man, we know that this has been happening, right? We know that this has been happening, but now it's being brought to the forefront. So it's like, okay, cool. This is where he wants everyone to, what's the word I'm looking for? To direct their attention. Okay. So yeah, we can get this. This is Second Ezra 6:22, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, and the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. And once again, these storehouses, these stores, these shops, they'll go from being full one day, and then just like that, all he has to do is set out the right message, and then everyone's gonna panic. Once again, you can go through the channels, man. I believe I uploaded on my other channel, GMS FAQ2, right? Where basically you had uh, 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 I went to my local store, right, my local supermarket, whatever. Right, and there was just lots of items missing. I was like, yo, what the hell is going on here? Right, empty, loads of empty shelves. Okay. And then one of the things that was said to Joachim was, hey, these people ain't gonna, start panicking until they're told to. And that's exactly what happened with the petrol, like a week or two ago. Where basically people just, they hadn't been told to panic, but as soon as they were told to panic, guess what they did? They panicked. Okay. But just like that, they'll go from full to empty, right? With the moment's notice. Okay. And then the next thing says, there are fears in the EU that Poland may be the next country to leave. Right, and this is very much, in the prophecies, man. Right, how you gonna have, these different, this alliance called the EU, right? That's not really gonna be in in true alliance, if you will. Right, it's his second. This is it's like his Daniel's 2:40 says, and the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all these shall it break in pieces and bruise. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of the potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but they shall be in it of the strength of iron. For as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay, and the toes of the feet were part of the iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken, right? And it's representing what do you call the EEC, the EU, right? It's the same 10. These 10 toes are also akin to the 10 horns spoken of in the book of Revelation. So when it says partly strong, partly weak. That's what you have in the EU. You have, certain nations that are strong, you have certain nations that are weak, right? But the ultimate point is, they don't really mix together. Now you've got the EU that's expanded into, this large conglomerate of nations, right? You basically have you got all these other nations that are really, they're just there like, man, I ain't trying to really be following, your different laws and whatever, what have you, because your laws are actually against kind of the things that we quote unquote believe in, right? So whatever comes of this, we will see, right? Another one, just the U.S. is officially a banana republic. The top 1% now own more wealth than the entire middle class, right? And you're seeing that number there drop. So I don't know what let me click into it, see what these, yeah, so 19, where's the, what you call, yeah, the middle class. Okay, you see that there, right? So 1940s was peaking it peaked at 35%, right? But yeah, but that's been, getting worked on, right? And this this vid, but really helped increase that. Okay, and helped increase that, man. Okay, so we'll close that, and now we come on into these mandates, right? 871 firefighters file intent to sue, right? 871. Now people like, oh, I don't know how many there are in the whole of how many firefighters there are in the whole of LA. But hey, let's say that's, two or three from each department. Then how are you gonna do your shifts, right? How are you gonna do your shift patterns, man? Right? Because this is the thing, when people talk about, oh, that's only 2 or 3% of whatever, how all of that BS, right? They're really not understanding. A lot of these, I'll speak of for over here, like in the healthcare service, right? Healthcare workers, a lot of them are stretched as it is. So then losing 1%, 2%, 3% of them, what does that mean? That basically means that the stress just gets, made even worse, right? To the point that people aren't able to get care, whatever, what have you, right? And once again, you think this man doesn't know this? Of course he knows this, but he's a man of chaos, right? And that's what he wants. He wants this chaos to come, right? And similarly here, you see that hundreds of thousands of U.S. troops have not yet complied. So what are they going to do? That's the question. This isn't like this isn't like tens of thousands. This says hundreds of thousands, right? And you get these fools. Argo knows it says it's a singular hundreds of thousands, 103,000, right? 103,000 that you see that, you get these fools just saying dishonorable discharge. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Yeah. This is the thing. They're so deep in the juice, they don't actually understand what it is that they're asking for, right? Once again, this is just then air traffic controllers in Jacksonville, Florida staged a walkout Saturday due to false thingies. Meanwhile, mainstream news scrabbles to cover it up by blaming the weather as people are left stranded waiting for their flights. Right, and yeah, because it is Southwest Airlines cancels 1,000 flights, and blames on air traffic control issues and weather. And then another one basically was like, despite no other airline having this same problem. So once again, it's that controlled media, but that's why these elites want to get rid of this internet, because this basically takes away the power from them, right? Because now you're getting all this information being spread out about. And then the mega drought, right, is hammering the US, right? I'm sure you can watch what Darby has to, say on his channel, right? It's from originally from Darby 7, right? And once again, this is it. It's all linking up to the certain places are preying on sun. It's all linking up, to the famines that are to come. All right, let's see what we can find. Yeah, let me grab this because hey, these famines they ain't a worry for us. It's Job 5:20. In famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the sword, from the power of the sword. Right. So hey, these famines, they ain't for us, man. Therefore, these people in the world, okay, these people that ain't trying to get right with the Lord, okay. In 2 Ezra 15:19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And that lack of bread is going into the fact that the land is struggling. Then also you have the fact that he is purposely pushing for these things to happen, right? This is 2 Ezra 16:18-22, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, right? The beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment, right? So these are punishments. When you see in a famine, that's a punishment of Yahweh Shem Shai, from Yahweh Shem Shai. But for all these things they shall not turn away, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of their scourges. Behold, victuals shall be so good, cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves in good case. And that's what you've had, up until now, things being cheap, being able to just go and buy whatever, right? But those days are coming to an end. I said, even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. Right? So yeah, a load of people gonna be dying from these famines. Right? When we're seeing these mega drops, we're seeing the shipping issues, the whole logistical nightmare. Right? Where we're very much aware, what that leads to. And over there in the land of Elam, right, India, right, it says India faces rolling blackouts as coal shortage forces power plants to adopt emergency measures. And in fact, Lebanon also is suffering something similar. I forgot whether it was a bit more dire situation than this, but this is what you're seeing now. You might just be like, oh yeah, whatever, but then it's okay, cool. How is food going to be stored? Right? How are hospitals going to function? How are factories going to function? Right? All of these different things are what you call it, are things that help to push towards chaos and famine and all of the things, right? And once again, all of these things happening all at the same time, right? And then just the last one is, World War III relate as Taiwan vows to take on China, right? Which when you look at how staunch Xi Jinping looks, you really think he's scared of a little broad. That you highly doubt it. Okay, so yeah, as always, Lord's Wood, I was edifying. And yeah, we're just gonna keep watching, keep our eyes on what's going on, as the scriptures command us to. Sirach 39, for example, right? And yeah, Lord's will, we can get the hell up out of here soon. Yabba Shem Yashab Shem Kodash Brakadam Shalom.